Hello and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video where we are going to do winter makeup in my old room. I'm in the Netherlands for a couple of weeks and I thought I'd take advantage of the filming area that I created here. I already put my hair up in these wintry little ponytails. I already have my swirly blue tank top on. So this is the look for today, and now we're going to do some matching makeup. Also, I'm really sorry, I'm still kind of out of breath. I'm still congested. I've been sick until yesterday. I do feel a lot better now, but you know, these things go. It takes a little while. I still wanted to film a fun video, so here we are. I was really inspired by this look that I'll show you from Morgan Turner, who was again inspired by lots of videos that she saw on TikTok, where she did a winter makeup look that was very skin focused, very underpainting, sheer layers, lots of glow, and I really liked it. I used to do that as well, and then I realized that a little bit of powder never hurt anyone. So I reverted back to the other side. But now we're going to go back to my dewy roots, but also do some sparkly eyeshadow, of course. So if you're new here, subscribe if you like makeup and fashion content, and let's get started. I'm going to do something very unflattering first. Take my bangs and pin them up because it's just so much easier, and I do feel like you always see a little bit of your forehead through them. So I do feel like you have to put some makeup here, especially here. So it's just easiest to get them out of the way, but does this look bad? Yeah, kinda. So we're gonna start with a classic. I'm still working on this. I know I said like a year ago that this would be almost finished, but it's definitely still going strong. This is the Glam Light eyeshadow base, but it's good. It's in the shade Classic Vanilla. So I picked out a couple of palettes for today. I think the main one will be this one, the Midwinter Dream. This is from Ashley Rain in collaboration with someone. I have to show you carefully because my black broke and it's a little bit messy, but this is what it looks like. It has some beautiful multichrome shades as well. So that'll be my main focus. But then I figured I want to do the full pastel dream. I do. I need some pastel matte shades as well. So we're going to pair it with this one, the Holy Fairy Tale palette from Kimchi Chic Beauty. And we're going to start with that one. So I'm thinking a two-toned crease, but a little bit more subtle. So I'm thinking blue and pink is pretty. I really love this blue. This is just my favorite shade at the moment. I'll always love pink a lot, but this is my crush at the moment. I'm wearing it right now. I have leggings in this color, sweaters. I just want to put it on my eyes. So I'm really going to do quite a simple look. I still like the idea of Morgan Turner where she did just mainly sparkle on the eyes, so I'm going to try and do the same. This palette should really be in my best purchases for the year. It's sort of an unsung favorite. So that's a nice blue base. I just wiped it off on my hand. You know, a little pop of green would also be kind of fun, or is that too springy? I'm thinking this green over here or this one. I think what I'll do pink, but I'll do a shimmery pink, which is this one. It's light, it's airy. This is where I like to put shimmer anyway. So let's just continue with that. I just carry it all over the upper part of the eyelid. If you leave it like this is the perfect Y2K Spice Girls kind of look. But we're gonna add a little bit of dimension. Putting this one to the side for now. Continuing with our Midwinter Dream. And I'm just going straight into a pretty multichrome. Now let me try a couple. I really love this one. Oh, that's really nice. Kurao Kami. We have Morana, which is also stunning. I always love Kione, which of course would match really pretty, but I don't like that dark purple in it. I think I like these two more. Of course, there's a little bit of black everywhere, so ignore that. This one is called Beira, which is also stunning. You know, I'm going to go with my guts, and I'm going to go with the first one, which is called Kurao Kami. So I'll just take that on my finger. This is like what the seahorse palette was for me in the summer from Adept Cosmetics. This is like my winter version. Oh yeah, that was a good choice. Am I right? Okay, let's clean up these hands. You know, this is a really bad idea because I'm wearing some white track pants and I'm babying them, but this is getting stuff all over them. So I quickly changed my pants. I figured that was for the best. Where was I? Let's add just a tad of dimension. There are a couple of deeper mattes in this palette. And I think this one is just too turquoisey. I wish there was a true blue. But I do kind of like the idea of a purple. So we're going in with Scaddy, which is sort of a muted, mid-toned matte purple. And we're just going to add a little bit of that. Just like that. And I'll reinforce the blue when everything is done. But I think this is going to be it for the base of the eyeshadow. I'll add a little bit of glitter and everything. And I'm going to prepare my favorite lashes, which is also kind of out of necessity, but also because I don't want them to be too big or too noticeable. And I think these are perfect. These are the ones that were in my makeup bag. These are the natural 3D foam mink lashes, by the way, from Kruidvat, which is a Dutch drugstore. And I honestly couldn't tell you if they're similar to anything else, but that's their description. So I'm just adding a little bit of the Duo lash glue. I would like to try a couple of new pairs of lashes in the near future. I know I told you that I wouldn't be buying too much makeup anymore, and I won't. But I do wear lashes a lot, so I think it's good to have a couple of options. So I'm just letting that sit, and I'm going in with my eye pencil, which is also from the home brand from this drugstore, Kruidvat. And it's in the color Blue Heaven, which I think sounds wonderful. And I'm just going to put that on my lower waterline. I know the look is turning out to be more purple at the moment, but I want it to be a little bit more blue, so we're going with this one. I've been doing my makeup a lot in the train, and I gotta say, applying eyeliner in a still room is a lot easier. I'm going to take a black eyeliner. I think if you don't do lashes, then a colored wing would be really interesting, like a very dark blue. That would honestly look really good. But since I am applying lashes, this will look nicer. I'm just applying a strip like this on both sides, and then I'll let it dry. Because in order to do nice little wings, you have to keep your eyes open if you have hooded eyes. So I just draw little points like that. And then when I do like this, you see that they're actually a lot higher than you would think. I hope it doesn't transfer. I still need to apply some mascara before I apply my lashes. It's fine. The Duo glue can easily dry for a couple of minutes before reaching its strongest stickiness. Now this step is always going to be messy because honestly this mascara, or any mascara for me, takes a billion years to dry. And I do like to apply my mascara before the lashes. I'm okay with that, but I'm just letting you know. This is what it's looking like so far. See, I did get a little bit of mascara transfer right there. So now we're going to the face, and I was debating last night whether I would go in one of two directions. Either the one that I mentioned with the glowiness. What I also feel is very wintry is this porcelain full skin with no flaws, and then adding some color and glow on top of that. That would also be really nice. So I'm going for an in-between. I am going to wear a little bit of foundation, but I am going to do the underpainting and use a little bit more of a glowy product. I think that'll be a nice compromise. First, I'm going to start with something to make my skin a little bit more plump and moisturized. I'm going in with the Super Base from Makeup Revolution, which is a nice primer, which is basically just a day cream, but I think it's a little bit more fast drying. And for some reason, my normal skin feels a little bit tight today, so I think this is nice. And then the second prep step is that I'm going to add a little bit of color corrector. This one is from Huda Beauty in the shade Pink Pomelo? Pomelo? I'm not sure. This is just my favorite color corrector. Just a little bit underneath the eyes. Yeah, I think that's okay. And I know I don't have the deepest of or blackest of under eyes, but I still find that using a little bit of color corrector makes a huge difference. I mean, it looks a little bit orange right now, but it already looks a lot more awake, right? And I feel like this eyeshadow needs that. Okay, I think I'm going to go in with the Moira Cream Blush in the shade Love Heat. Or no, this is the Love Heat Cream Blush in the shade number 6, I Miss You. This is very intense. And if I wasn't doing the underpainting method, then I would just do like that. Since I am, I'm going to be bold and tap a couple of times, but this may already be too much. It's also a pretty dark shade, but I do think that's nice. It's a little bit like that I'm cold trend that we saw a lot last winter. This is just the more elevated glowy version. And I'm also putting this underneath the eyes. It'll blend into the color corrector quite seamlessly. I'm gonna put a little bit more. Is that crazy? I want a little bit more right there. I like to put my blush pretty high. Also on my nose, of course. Little bit on the chin. I feel like that finishes off the cold look completely. I need it to look a little bit crazy, so I can then tone it down. I think I'll do a little bit of powder bronzer, so now it's time for foundation. Let's see what I got in the glowy mid-range. Okay, I think I got it. I digged these out of my makeup bag that was already here. This is a classic combination of mine, but I haven't used it in a while. This is the Born to Glow foundation by NYX Cosmetics, discontinued, at least for a little while. And this is the Fenty Eavesdrop. This is too light, this is too dark, this is too matte, this is kind of almost too glowy. So we're gonna mix them. Just a little bit of this one and a little bit more of this one. So this is the mixture that I made. It's too much, but it's fine. And I'm just going to take a foundation brush, mix the whole thing together. I think the color looks pretty good. And now I'm going to start with stippling the foundation on the parts where I didn't put anything. And then slowly also cover up the other parts. This is not a technique I use often, so bear with me. But I think it's coming out pretty nicely. I really like the blush like this. Look how it's sort of peeking through. Now I do need a little bit of concealer, and I feel like that really makes or breaks this look. This is the Huda one. Just a little bit. Now I don't currently have a separate concealer brush on hand, so I really just use my foundation brush. But I will try and keep it a little bit more contained. See, that does look a lot more fresh. And then because this brush is so big, I'm going to use my finger, tap over especially the under eye, but also around the nose. I think this is starting to look really nice. I do think there's a certain lack of sparkle that we're having at the moment. So let's fix that in one of the next steps. But first, we're gonna need a little bit of powder. I would recommend more of a pink powder, like the Huda Beauty one, which I really like, but it's currently being somewhere. Sounds vague enough. So I'm going to use this one by Makeup Revolution, which I also really like. This is a combination of a loose and a pressed powder. I'm just going to use the pressed one. I'm going to use my little fluffy friend. I like to pick up a little bit, remove some on the back of my hand. There's a little mirror in here. Pull out my eye. Get rid of the last creases. And then press. And I repeat that process And then I press on some other spots as well. Really mainly in the center of my face right now. Okay, we're going to skip through a couple of basic things really quickly. I'm going to use my favorite Chanel bronzer. This is from a summer collection, but there's a little bit of glow in it, so I love it. And for this wintry look, I think that's all I need. I'm going to take my microfilling brow pen from Benefit in the shade light brown. This is really all I need in my brows since my bangs are covering them half the time. But I do like a little bit of definition. I don't currently have my favorite brow gel, but I do really like this one from Alicia, and I think for most people this will be plenty. I have really slippery eyebrows, so a lot of brow gels don't really do a lot for me. But I wanted to show you what this look would be like with the proper brows. Because I know it's a little bit last year, but I personally really like this brow look. I think this is a little bit meh, and this is like, Okay, that's the basics done. I like the amount of glow and the amount of color that we have. There are some touch-ups needed. So I'm going back with my Holy Fairy Tale palette, and I'm going back into that light blue shade that we started with, and just smoke out the lower lash line and the outer corner. Little bit of blue over there. Look, makes a pretty big difference. So there's actually a really nice light shade that I like to use for my inner corner in this palette. There's a matte white, which is lovely on itself. But for today, we're going into this sparkly shade, which has a little bit of green, a little bit of blue. It's really nice. I'm going to take this up a little bit above the eyelid, but that part I'm spreading out with my finger. But I like this continuation right there. And I also really like to put a little bit of this shade right along the inner part of the lower lash line. I think this is a really important step for any makeup look. Not necessarily this color or this light, but something decisive. Now, I did say we were going to add a little bit of sparkle, and I still think we should. I have this little pot from the Nessa Myrix. This is the multichrome flakes in the shade Sweet Tooth, and we're just going to add a little bit on top. I'm taking a little bit off. I don't want too much. Just some little flecks. Yeah, that adds the beautiful sparkle that I feel like we needed. You can also put sparkles in your brows, on your cheeks, on your lips, anywhere. I'm going to put down my bangs. And also the little side bangs that I have. I feel like this hairstyle looks a lot better like this. Okay, so I feel like we're a little bit orange. We're a little bit too warm on the cheeks. So I'm going to go back with this one. I know, risky move. And just tap the one time this time. I just take off the excess on the back of the front of my hand. I think that's better. Now, I'm going to do two things. You can pick either of them or none, but I'm going to do both. So I have this highlighter from NYX. This was a collaboration with Fate, the Wings Club. And I love both of these shades. And usually I go for the pink. You see I hit pan. That would match this really nicely. So I'm going to go with the pink on my cheeks and the green on my nose. I just really love both of these colors, and they match the look so perfectly, both of them. So what I like to do with my highlight, I like a really sparkly, clear highlighter, almost clear, that I can just add on top of the blush. And it'll just make a really nice shimmery version of the blush. And I like there to be visible sparkle. If you don't, then maybe you want to skip this step altogether. But I do like it to be sheer so it doesn't become too light. And then a little bit of the green one on my nose for that little snow bunny effect. I think that was the perfect move. And then I also have this one from Makeup Revolution. This is their balm. This is what I add when I feel like my skin is just a little bit too dry and it needs that little bit extra. It's slightly colored, but really not much. And I like to put this all underneath my eye as well. If you don't put too much, it won't crease. And it just, I feel like you hardly notice it, but it gives a little bit of glow. It gives the whole look just a little bit of dew, life, I would almost say. And I feel like it's important to do this step last, because if you do it before the highlighter, then you get really thick chunks of highlighter on your face, and I don't think that's the prettiest. So I think that's the face makeup done. Then finally, I have one product that I want to try out with you guys. This is the Squirt Plumping Gloss Stick from MAC. I'm really into red glosses or sheer red products. And this is MAC's version of it. It looks like this. It's one of those turn off, can't turn back kind of mechanisms. And I think it's going to be pretty sheer. Oh, it smells lovely. It smells like vanilla cupcakes. So yeah, this is exactly what I want. I do think we need to add a little bit of a line. So I'm taking this lip liner from Makeup Revolution. There's a lot of Makeup Revolution today. Just saying. In the shade Brunch, which is sort of a mauvey pinky shade. And we're going to line my whole lips. Mainly over there and over there. Now I'm going to apply this lipstick. So you could do like a purpley lip gloss or a white one with a lot of shimmer. That would also be really pretty. But I kind of like the little pop. And then to finish the whole thing up, I'm going back with my Donessa Myrix. I'm going to take just a little bit and put it right there. I think if you do just that much, it's kind of wearable. You just see a little bit of extra sparkle, just like with the eyes. So yeah, that's the finished look. I had a lot of fun creating this, but if you follow these steps or any of these steps, you should get a nice wintry snow bunny look that I feel like will really make this winter period that's so dark and gloomy a little bit more sparkly and fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.